Greetings. I'm listening.
Great to meet you.
I've been expecting you.
For the good.
You come get the voodoo.
Hey there. And you are?
Light be with you.
You come to consult the spirits?
Welcome to Orgrimmar. Have you come to serve the Horde?
Shiny. Sail here. Me buy and trade. What? Sail here. Me buy and trade. What?
Hello and welcome to Control Alt WoW, the podcast for those of us who love World of Warcraft and love making many alts. Today is Sunday, November 14th, 2021, and this is episode 728 entitled, Would You Look at the Time? I'm Aprillian, your host, and with me are my two awesome co-hosts. Hello, Constructs. How are you today?
I'm feeling sad because I kind of missed Dark Moon Fair this week.
Oh.
Or last week. I couldn't be there. Couldn't do anything for it. So I consoled myself by playing Hearthstone. And that had to be my week because Mr. Constructs is still in the hospital. So I'm expected to show up, do my thing at the hospital, and then go home when everything's said and done.
Well, send her our best.
Yeah, she appreciated your positive energy from last week. She was grateful for that.
Good.
She says, I'll take all the positive energy I can get.
Yeah. I hope she's on the mend soon.
Yes.
And back home with you. Grand Nagus, how are you doing?
I'm doing okay.
All right.
I have a couple of things here going on, but I'll get into that in my segment. It's quite eventful, but still, not all that exciting, but still stuff happening, so... Yeah. So, in the game, let's get into that.
What's going on this week?
In WoW, we have currently we tomorrow starts WoW's 17th anniversary. Celebration.
So we'll probably get a token to speed up experience.
Likely 17%, yeah.
Yeah.
Most likely.
Yeah. And that lasts from tomorrow, from the 15th, or whenever you listen to it. Maybe not be tomorrow anymore, most likely not. So it lasts from November the 15th to December the 6th. So that's the period where you can, whenever you log in, you get the achievement that you participated, so to speak.
Yeah.
And then, I'm not sure, I think someone said we get another pet.
Oh. We always like a good pet, a new pet.
I haven't seen anything with regards to that yet. Let me just quickly see if there's anything that the MMO Champion website has. It doesn't seem to be the case. So, but again, Battle Pet, Corgi Pup. That's the one you get with Time Warp badges. So those are available. All the Time Warp badges, things that you can get like have been able to get for the last couple of years. You can get again. Again, remember when you initially log in on a toon, go to the embassy. And next to the embassy, there is the invitation for the Time Walkers, from the Time Walkers.
Yep.
Quest that awards you 200 Time Warp badges.
Yep.
Initially, so that should be enough to get you quite a bit of stuff. Because no single item I see on the list here costs more than 200. So if there's one item you want, you can get that. Apparently,
I got like 70 characters. That's a lot of hopping over the next character and collecting the stuff.
Yeah, a lot.
Apparently, here on the list, I found something that says "new" in front of it, and it's the timeless mechanical Dragonling,
Right.
and it's a battle pet. So there is a new pet, and it costs 200 badges, which are, as I said, the initial 200 you get. So you shouldn't have an issue getting it. It's most likely, again, a unique pet that you can only get once and is untradeable,
Right.
much like the other ones are. So you can only buy it once, learn it, because it's a one of one. So yeah,
I wonder if they'll ever do the Guardian Cub thing again, where you buy for money and then you can sell it for gold.
Oh, you mean the no, I don't think so, because I expect that to have been a kind of trial run for the token system.
Experiment.
So it had kind of the same properties that a token has.
Yeah.
The only difference was that the aspect of you being able to transfer it to BattleNet balance was replaced by learning the thing as a battle pet.
Yeah.
But that you could like buy it on the store for money, real money, like you can a token.
Right.
And then you can choose to either sell it on the auction house for gold or learn it as a pet.
Yeah.
The same way you applied the token to your account as game time. So again, I think that the Guardian pet was a trial run, so to speak, a
Let's see what
PTR
happened.
version. Yeah. So, and that's why they retired it outright when they introduced the token.
Yeah, there's like 6 versions of WoW now, isn't there? There's the beta, there's the PTR, there's classic, there's classic version Burning Crusade.
You get a World of Warcraft, you get a World of Warcraft. Everybody gets their own World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
Shadowlands, Classic Season of Mastery, Public Test Realms, Burning Crusade, Public Test Realm, Burning Crusade Classic, World of Warcraft Classic. 6 versions of WoW. So, whatever you fancy.
Yeah. And in 2 years' time, we're going to have the next one, which is going to be the last classic. I would assume that's going to be Wrath then. So, but that we'll get to that when we'll get to it. So yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So as I said, the only new thing in the entire stuff that you can get at the celebration is the timeless mechanical Dragonling. I don't have a picture of it. Let me see. It's a WoW head link. There it is. Gonna put it in the show notes. A little dragon. It looks kind of cute. It's like a mechanical. I think it's the first mechanical dragon that we have, other than the trinkets. It's the first proper mechanical dragon pet we have in the game.
And they're mechanical Dragonling.
Yeah. Let's see, where is it? Gonna put it in here. There it is. So.
Oh, it's cute.
Yep.
I'm gonna go ahead.
And then ending on Tuesday, we have Time Walking Warlords of Draenor and the PvP Brawl Deep Wind Dunk. Starting on Tuesday, we have the Battleground bonus event, plus the PvP Brawl Shadowpan Showdown. So that is what you can do in that game. In other news, we got what did they call it? Developer news update, introduction, something, I can't remember.
Right.
That's all the title, but basically what they did was they put a 11-minute video up the other day introducing us to or giving us a sneak peek for 9.2.
Right.
And people had guessed rightly, apparently, that we get a new zone, Ceres Mortis.
Yes.
Which is like a thing that I don't understand. They said one of the developers there said that place or things there created everything, including Azeroth and other things. And then another developer said it was built by the first ones to create afterlives.
Right. It was very confusing, but it was beautiful.
It's beautiful, yeah. But my question is, if it was meant to create afterlives, and it created Azeroth, does that mean that Azeroth is an afterlife too?
That's a good question.
Does that mean we live in an afterlife already? I'm quite interested in seeing how people that are a little smarter than I am figure out if we get to an afterlife, because that's what it's supposed to be then.
Right.
If Azeroth is an afterlife, then Shadowlands is an afterlife. Kind of, maybe.
You know, when Uther got to the afterlife and the Paragon's talking to him, he's quite upset because he spent a lifetime of service only to jump into the afterlife to start another lifetime of service. So he's like, when do I get to rest?
Right.
Yeah, but...
and he's still bearing the scar from Frostmourne. So,
yeah.
You know, and like, he doesn't have it easy, that paladin.
Yeah. It's a little strange. I need to figure that out. And maybe I'll need to talk to or ask some other content creators like Blizzard Watch, Matt Rossi, about it, if he can explain it to me. Put in a request for a question there.
For a debriefing?
For the Lore Watch show.
The Lore Watch show, yeah.
So Eternity's End is the name of 9.2, and as you said, Aprillian, it looks nice. It looks a little too, I don't know. It's pretty, yes. But for me, it looks a little too much, too over the top. Maybe that's what they intended to. I don't know. But what we got back was the tier sets. We finally got them back, as in not a dungeon set or a raid set, meaning we get sets for each armor type, but we get proper sets back for each class. Tier sets with bonuses, apparently, that we haven't seen anything about, that they haven't mentioned that we get. But people say that they like them. I like some of them. But again, I feel that compared to the quote-unquote old tier sets, they didn't go all out old style tier sets. They went more along the line of, we're going to thematically make tier sets depending upon the content, or like relating to the content that we make. So they have a theme, and of that theme, they'll make the, how many? 12 different sets? Yeah. Which, in my opinion, limits your creativity. And I don't see the uniqueness for each class. That's probably my main issue. I don't see my fel in my warlock set. I don't see the light uniqueness of a paladin or a priest. They all look shiny and golden to me, and that takes away from that color palette that you could give a priest or a paladin, kind of. in my opinion, for me, a color palette like greenish could be the color for a monk. The color golden purple is not really a color palette that suits a monk. So the uniqueness for raid for tier sets is not so much, in my opinion, the unique set that we get, because they are all unique sets. I don't dispute that at all. But the flavor of the class is not represented in my opinion, and that's something that I miss. So we'll see. Maybe they'll come all the way next time with 10.0, because apparently, as Steve Denuza said, the patch 9.2 serves as the end of one book of the Warcraft saga, meaning that 9.2 is the last raid patch, the last raid tier of Shadowlands, which again, as I talked about in previous shows, means that they pulled another Warlords of Draenor on us. We can confirm that now, that they cut out an entire tier, an entire raid dungeon tier, which again makes me question what content could we have gotten in that missing tier. What story could we have been told? Yeah. Because, and obviously we know that 9.2.5 could have a mini raid, much like the Ruby Dragon Shrine or Halls of Valor's Trial of Valor. Those mini raids there was another one in Battle for Azeroth, which was so small that I can't even remember its name. So yeah, it's something that I don't know. It's when you see that they evidently cut content, it's always sad. If it's a game where you live for that content, and we haven't seen Arthas at all in Shadowlands, and given the prominence that Uther was given. You talked about Uther just now.
See some scene where they were going to drop Arthas into the maw, and Uther was just going to watch? Was that a dream or no?
No, that was right. That was what happened. But again, as I said, that prominence of that scene and the entire thing, that Uther was burdened by that choice, and then not have Arthas show up in the expansion is something that I do not understand, and I'm almost certain that they cut that aspect out of the story. That was, in my opinion, that would have been part of 9.2 proper.
Right.
So same with Ashara.
Right, if you did the whole story.
Ashara is missing.
Yeah.
Because Ashara is one of the people that dealt with the old god, with the Zoth,
Yeah.
and the aftermath of the last part of Warlords Battle for Azeroth. So and she wasn't done. She just up and left after she was rescued.
Right.
So, and Garrosh, other than him blowing up after that attack in that cutscene, we didn't see much of him at all. So those three prominent figures, Arthur is one of the most prominent and beloved figures in the entire IP. Garrosh the same. Where are they? Where were they? I bet you that they cut those entire storylines out of the game just to fit Shadowlands into their cycle of content. Mm. And I bet that we're going to see 10.0 in Q4 of 2022. So
you have to keep up with the cycle of Final Fantasy 14.
No, because they want to make money.
Right.
And players be damned.
Right.
Because it's just, we need to give the people new stuff they can buy.
Content.
We don't want to give them stuff that we don't get money for. So right. we rather cut a raid patch and not tell a story that we developed.
Right.
That we set up over 2, 3, 4 expansions, but we just cut it just so we can make money, so we can release the expansion half a year early.
Right.
And that's what really bothers me, because I would see there's nothing I would rather do than watch and play. I mean, okay, all the Blizzard bomb issues aside, I still want a game that I feel comfortable to play and not feel, like I said in previous shows, I wanted to see a proper Shadrath raid in Warlords of Draenor, and not feel them skip an entire story. But apparently they don't care about the story. They just care about the money. So at least that's what it looks like to me.
Or maybe it's just hard.
Maybe what? Sorry, I can't hear you.
Maybe it's just hard to constantly stick to the story when you're trying to provide content. I mean, maybe I'm being simplistic.
No, because you set it up. Why would you, if you work on a book or work on a movie, and you have a movie like or a story like Harry Potter, and all of a sudden someone says, "Oh yeah, we can't film the movie that you want to, so we're just going to cut out books 3, 4, and 5." And just jump from we're gonna jump from 2 to 6.
I'm just playing devil's advocate. Yeah.
I see sure. I totally get that, but it's something where it's so for me personally, it's so obvious that there's something missing. There's something missing in the story. They set up, and yes, Ian Hazacosta said it's like that we're not going to see all the people that you want to see. But why set up the Uther story? They set it up with the pre-launch mini show, whatever they call it, the video where you see him being stabbed, and then you see where they later in the cinematic, you see where they go and get him after we kill him up on Ice Crown Citadel and throw him into the maw, like Construct says. Why set that all up and then not capitalize on it? Not use what they set up? Because we're never going to come back to the Shadowlands. We just aren't. So that aspect, that thread of the story is dead. Shadowlands dead, yeah, I get it. It's a pun, but still. It's stuff that it doesn't make sense. You just can't come there. It's bad storytelling. That's what it is. Maybe that's what frustrates me.
Right.
So, yeah. Okay. Another thing they mentioned.
It's the Kelvin storyline, Star Trek, where they blow up everything and bring it back in the next episode.
It's not even that, Construct. We're not going to come back to Shadowlands. And there is no more raid patch. It's the end. He said so, Steve Denusa said. The patch serves as the end of one book of the Warcraft saga. That's verbatim. This patch, not this expansion.
What if they started Warcraft 2?
They aren't.
The world's of Warcraft.
Yeah, no. They're not going to do that because they know what happened when they did the Cataclysm. People were not happy about that.
Yeah.
And you can see what happens with people that are split into two different games. World of Warcraft 2 would mean you split the game
player base, yeah.
The player base into two games. So what about the classic players? They are already split into 3 games now.
Yeah.
And then you want to split the retail community into 2 games as well? That's not going to work. It's only got downsides to it. There's no upside to that.
Right.
The only upside would be that they were going to say, yeah, we're going to make a whole new game, aka Cataclysm 2.0, so to speak.
Right.
And then convert all the characters, everything to a new engine. But they can't do that either because porting that, I don't think they have the tech to do that. So there's so many issues there. I mean, technically it's possible, but it's highly unlikely. So, yeah. Yeah, the other thing that they mentioned that was interesting was that we are now going to be able to equip 2 legendaries at the same time, much like we were able to equip 2 legendaries in Legion eventually once we unlocked the 7.2 patch skill tree from the class order halls. The last row, the bottom row, was made you be able to wear 2 legendaries.
Right.
That would be okay. The only issue with this version is that one of the legendaries has to be the Covenant legendary. And Covenant legendaries are just that. They are tied to Covenants. So whichever Covenant you are linked to, you can equip a legendary from, plus your normal non-Covenant legendary. But they made us be able to switch between Covenants back and forth as much as we want. So that means that we are still tied to one Covenant if we only have one Covenant legendary, or we need to craft the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th Covenant legendary to then use whenever we are allied with the other 3 Covenants, which again means that you have to see which ones are best if you are in one Covenant. So if you're in Revendreth, you need to figure out. I'm favoring Revendreth, so I have my best legendary there, and then the next day you're going to be in with the Necrolords and Madraxus, so you got to see, am I going to switch back for the raid to Revendreth, or am I going to craft the best legendary I can get my hands on from the Necrolords? But oh wait, I need to go and farm the legendary memory from the Necrolords first, and then craft it. Do I want to do that? And the same thing with Bastion and Ardenweald as well. So it's not as simple as just go and equip a 2nd legendary. Let's see where that ends and how that. I've heard people talk about that's not ideal, and I totally agree. Something about, and this is going to be the last issue I have with regards to news. There are 2 or some posts about some changes Activision Blizzard made. I'm going to read the posts that some people made. We are one step closer to a better APK. This fight is far from over. It's from Kitty Cat QA. This tweet. But the concessions won today are a major victory. We'll continue to fight to improve the conditions of QA and CS workers across the industry. That's her intro to Blizzard's post that reads as follows: Activision Blizzard has requested the following program changes for U.S. workers currently on assignment. Paid holidays, 13 paid holidays each year, beginning with the upcoming Thanksgiving holiday. Team leads will coordinate holiday coverage and offer time off in lieu of official holidays worked. Paid sick leave, 9 accruable paid sick days beginning January 22. Minimum hourly rate, a minimum hourly rate of $17 with charges for anyone below this rate beginning November 15th, which is tomorrow. So that is something that they give their contract workers. Because apparently contract workers are treated differently than workers at the company. So
there's management that's like salary, I guess, maybe? Oh, contract though, yeah, okay.
Yeah, contract workers, like for instance, we've heard much about contract workers as, for instance, doing all the quote-unquote dirty work.
Right.
Like when we had all the stuff that was done for the updated version for remastered and for those games, there were people that, like, in the company that said this and this and this needs to happen, but then the work itself was done partly by contract workers, apparently. So, it's. I mean, that's how I understand it to be. Let's be clear that if I'm wrong, I'm totally willing to admit that, but that's how I understood it, that there is stuff that is being contracted out to be done outside the company.
Right.
So that's something where I was, so I feel that it's good that we are seeing stuff happening. It's still, for me, it's still baffling that there are two types of workers. If you work for me, if you do the work that I tell you to, it shouldn't matter if I'm working under the ABK banner or if I'm working at my own company. Right. You should pay me the same amount of money for the same work. It shouldn't matter whether I sit in your office or in my office. At least that's how I look at it. But apparently that's not what happens. So, yeah, it was something that, it's just, it's obvious that you can get stuff done cheaper when you outsource.
Right. Or maybe it's a specialty. They do something.
No, it's manpower.
Yeah.
It's just Blizzard just gives them the spreadsheet for this needs to happen that way, and this needs to happen that way, and go do it. And then they deliver it, and then they give it back, and done. But Blizzard themselves don't have to bother doing the work. So that's a cheap way, apparently, to cut the cost. Because were Blizzard to, let's just say it's artwork. That's just an example. Let's say that you have your artists that make all the artwork for the game.
Right.
And then it's you can have the art, you can provide the art, but then the implementation of it can happen in different ways, or you can have a design contest, so to speak, of different companies, different computer art companies that come up with stuff. There's so many ways you can do it. Or it's just programming. Just do the programming. So again, there's so many ways you can do it. But I'm far from an expert on computer programming, so I wouldn't know half of how it works.
Right.
It's just that I feel that there is way more outsourcing possible than we even know. So, and if in-shop can't be done as cheap as the outsourced one, it's the same with cars. In like you as a company, you have your goods produced in Taiwan or in China or wherever because the labor is cheaper there, and then you ship it back. It's the same thing, exactly the same thing. It's just that the company that does the outsourced work is still in the US, apparently. So if you're in the US, you should get the same amount of money. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
But yeah, that's the news for this week. Let's get into our week.
Okie dokie. Let's do it.
I've had a fantastic weekend. Wow. It's very comforting. Those battlegrounds where you're not necessarily putting out more damage, but you feel like you're contributing more by pushing all the buttons all at once. Bad boy. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you?
Constructs, how's your weekend WoW been?
My weekend WoW has been mostly playing that silly game Hearthstone.
Oh.
I've done the Mercenaries expansion pack, and it's a lot like pet battles. You can repeat like battling level 10 pets over and over and over, and then you level your pets, and then you get coins to upgrade their abilities, and then out of those abilities, some are better than others, and they're more expensive. They cost more coins. Then you can get an item to equip. Then you can upgrade the item to equip, so you have to spend coins on that. Then you can level other mercenaries that you have.
Oh.
So it becomes like an alcoholic game very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
One of us.
And then, about what time is it? What about that time
What
on
about
the wall?
that time? Yeah. Coincidentally.
My spouse looks over at me. She gets very frustrated.
No.
And I'm like, you're upset because of what? What did I do? Like, how did I mess up your day? Like, it's not that she's upset. She's upset that I look happy in a hospital. I'm breaking the mold. I'm not conforming to the status quo. I'm not following protocol. I'm enjoying my time in the hospital. So that mildly upset her, and then eventually she got back into being in a good mood. But like for a few minutes there, she was cross with me because I'm just blunkering away with a big happy smile on my face for the whole day because I get to level something. I get to do pet battles, or I get to do mercenaries battles in Hearthstone. And then when I get done leveling 6 characters, I level 6 more. So it's like it doesn't really end. There's lots to do, and sometimes you spend a whole day and you pick up a new quest. And it says I've done 50 quests so far. And if you know something about mercenaries, doing a quest sometimes takes a long time. So I've done 50 quests so far. So that's quite a bit. Apparently, there's a lot more champions than the ones I have. Like you can get Sylvanas, you can get Gromash, you can get.
Wait, you can get 2. You can get 1.
You can get Sylvanas in Hearthstone.
What?
Yeah, so I'm leveling to try and get something. Whatchamacallit, I found, while Brilliant was away, I found 2 or 3 camel statues, but they're all the fake ones. So when I find the real one, you'll know.
All right.
It hasn't happened for a long time. So far, they've all been fake ones. I don't know what's up with that. Because when I was looking for it on my main, it only took me like 3 or 4 days, and then I found one right away. So I guess it's a bit
Mm.
more of a challenge when you're looking for an alt. Or maybe it's just supposed to be a challenge altogether, like a time lost birthright, and you're not supposed to happen upon it on your 3rd day looking for it.
Yeah, that's an anomaly.
That's an anomaly, yeah. The RNG is not supposed to work out in your favor that early in the game.
No.
I still don't have the Arthas pony, so I'll be doing that at some point. I saw that some people are getting the transdimensional whistle from Warlords of Draenor. That means they went through all the raids and they killed every boss with the Pepe on their head. So that means they had to not die. Because if you die, Pepe disappears.
Yes, and you need to start over.
You have to start over with Pepe on that boss or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So
no, you need to get Pepe back first, yeah.
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 Pepe's in the garrison up on a tree, so
Right.
and once you've done the achievement, what a strange interdimensional trip it's been. You get a toy to summon him whenever you want for an hour.
Yeah.
So you don't have to go to the garrison. Speaking of garrison, I was looking at my Warcraft app, and I accidentally turned on the Warlords of Draenor mission table.
What?
So you can do the mission table from Warlords of Draenor in the Legion app now.
Oh.
Yes.
So it doesn't work 100%. It doesn't tell you what all the buffs are.
Right.
It's like, so if you have extra training, it doesn't tell you. So I guess it's still a work in progress, but it's functional. So if you get Harrison Jones paired up with somebody who's not max level, they level up really quick.
Yeah.
And it tells you how much XP they get, your followers per mission or whatnot. I don't suppose it's going to go real fast leveling my alts. I thought I was going to level a bunch of them to 60, but so far I've only leveled up 2 characters up to 60, my Death Knight and a Rogue. And my Death Knight, once I leveled them to 60, I geared her up, and I just left her there. She hasn't done really world missions or anything. She just played a little bit with the what's that thing called? The mission table. And it's just, I guess I don't have a lot of bag space, and I have to go and buy more 32 slot bags.
Oh, I can send you some. Is it on Earth and Ring?
It's on a different realm. Yeah, it's on a different realm. So I have to, I guess I have to make them and mail them to my alt or whatnot. Mm. It's not as much fun sorting through stuff and having pages and pages of mats that you get rid of. Like, I still have 12,000 bars of lightning steel ingots on my rogue from Warlords of Draenor, because I would make the ingots and then stick them in the bank. And what I really wanted wasn't the ingots. I wanted the Sorcerer's Earth, so I could make bags.
Right.
Because bags were more of a investment to make when you didn't have any source of any drops for Sorcerer's Earth.
Right.
But whenever you made lightning steel ingot, you always get Sorcerer's Earth. So that's what I would do, is I would just make the lightning steel ingots over and over and over and just stick them in the bag and then use up the Sorcerer's Earth on bags. I made so many bags. In the thousands of bags. I haven't kept track. Like, it just, over the years, whenever I had, a day to make a cooldown, I'd make the hexweave cloth, and then at some point I had 2,000 hexweave cloth, so I guess I made 20 bags, and then it's just insane. Like, it was such a good expansion as far as mats went. Like, you would gather quickly once you got to max level, and then you could just keep on making it at very little cost, and then you could also make it in your garrison if you had the appropriate building. So that was like a really good expansion for me, Warlords of Draenor. A lot of my friends played the what I call the Facebook games, where they would just log into the garrison, collect the gold from the gold missions,
right?
And they would burn out. Like, they would just get like 30,000 gold a day, and then at the end of the week, they wouldn't have played any WoW. They just been playing the garrison over and over, which was kind of tough, when you go talk to somebody. They have 11 alts, 11 legendaries, and they don't play WoW other than to do the garrison gold missions. That was tough. Like, as far as experiments went, that was not I think the highlight of World of Warcraft. I think I had more fun in Cataclysm than I did in Draenor, just because you couldn't get anybody out of their garrison. They would always be stuck in there. And now that I don't have to go to garrison to start the missions, I'm more free to do stuff, which is kind of nice.
Right.
I'm hoping to find that camel figurine there, so you get you a mount to brilliant, pay you back for the mount you got me last week, which I really appreciate. I told my wife
glows. About it. It glows. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
It's really, Of course, it's just giving Blizzard more money, but that's not important.
More of our money, yes. Yeah. I'm going to log over to my other realm here, and this is my fourth and final tune for the looking in Uldum for the camel figurines. But I don't do all my transmutes every day on all my alchemists anymore. I just don't have time at the hospital too many hours in the day.
Right, exactly.
I try to make sure Mrs. Constructs has everything she needs, because something happens to her, I don't know what I'd do. I'd be like a real sad puppy for probably a couple of years.
We don't want that. We don't want anything.
No, we don't want that. Absolutely
nobody wants
not.
that. And yeah, that's pretty much been my week. I did play like 8 hours a day of Hearthstone for like 5 days in a row. That's a lot of Hearthstone.
That is.
That's like logging in every day, checking your quests, and then trying to find the most efficient way to do all the quests.
But it's nice because you can do that from your phone, right?
Yeah, I can do it from my phone in the hospital while I wait for stuff. Exactly. And then when I run out of battery, the extension cord reaches to the wall, and I don't even have to get up to charge it. I charge it while I play, and the iPhone 12 Pro Max is an awesome phone. I found out that if you should crack the glass on your iPhone 13 Pro, there's a chip in there that pairs the glass to the phone. So they can charge as much as $600 to replace the glass because of that chip, which is insane, which means everybody's going to have to get the extended warranty now.
Right.
Because the chance of cracking the glass is like my nephew has had 6 iPhones and he's cracked them all. How did he get 6 iPhones? I don't know, but he's managed to shatter them all.
I've had 6 iPhones and I have never cracked. I cracked a screen once, and I
cracked a screen once as well.
I have a 12.
Yeah,
and I have dropped it, and it has not cracked. So I don't know. I thought the new screen was better.
I think so. It's made out of the ceramic or something.
Yeah.
They've upgraded the survivability of it. But the 13, I'm worried that it's going to be real expensive if somebody drops one of those and doesn't have the warranty.
Yeah.
Because you pair the glass with the iPhone with that chip. So if your Face ID doesn't work, that's half the phone right there.
Yeah.
So some of the really nice features come on the 12 Pro Max, but I'm sure the 13 has even more features. Like as soon as they release the phone, they release the iOS 15, and I think Apple's just going to keep on making good stuff for years and years to come. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. My mic is really good. It picks up all the ambient noises.
I thought it was something within the recording. All right.
No, I could hear it too.
Yeah. All right, go ahead.
I was just hoping it wouldn't pick up.
It's okay.
I have mail on this character, which means something came through the auction house. So I'm going to stop at the... I'm hoping I sold something, but so far this week I haven't sold a lot of stuff. I just sold little things here and there. And yeah, it's been a good week so far. I haven't had any problems worth mentioning. I was fortunate when I logged into the game that everything had ticked over good, and nobody's mad at me in the game. I have a friend who logs on from time to time. We chat. As Z comes on, I go off, so we don't have time to talk really, but I'm looking forward to spending time with him when I have more of a normal life, because right now it's busy.
Right, you have a lot on your plate, literally.
Yeah, it hasn't been an easy couple of weeks. I have to say I've held up pretty good on my sleep, but if I don't have any sleep, it goes downhill real fast. So I have to be careful with my health.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, my right leg's all swollen from sleeping in a chair. So instead of sleeping on the bed, so I think I have to go on a diet or start jogging or something, because I don't want to put on the pounds and not be able to lose them later on. But yeah, everybody's good. I'm going back to work tomorrow, so I'm hoping that I do a good job for my employer. They've been very, very good to me. They've allowed me to help out Mrs. Constrax all this time. So I really have no complaint about my employer. I when I complain, it's just for show. I'm not really complaining. It's just because I'm union and I have to justify my union break or something. But mostly people are super nice where I work, and they help each other out all the time. So I really have no complaints, and that's been my week.
Awesome.
Very nice.
Oh, excellent. Oh, how you doing? I get excited. I get giddy and love making many alts. My dog is trying to poop for the Horde and for the Alliance. It was funny on my head.
So how has your week in gaming been, Aprillian?
My week in gaming has been so much fun. I really feel bad for people who don't game. And we know we all have friends that don't understand. But I've been having so much fun. In Final Fantasy 14, I am leveling up. I got up to I'm up at level 9 now. And like you said, it's interesting because you go in and sometimes there's a queue. But today there wasn't any queues. I'm loving the graphics. Sometimes I get confused about moving around, but I think I'm figuring it out slowly but surely. It's interesting because when you die, instead of going to a graveyard, you go back to the main place, if that makes sense.
Yeah, your Hearthstone set.
Yep. Where your Hearthstone is set. Exactly. So, yeah, that's been fun. I've been playing with April and Aprillian, and I think I'm going to have to do some investigating because I think we're in the wrong place. We went back to Bastion, but everything is really low level, and I was trying to find a quest, and I couldn't find it. So, let me see. What quest was that? Shoot. I am in...
It is low level because you need to move on to the next zone.
Right, but my problem is that I've been leveling in with archaeology, so I don't have a lot of I don't have the breadcrumbs. So,
right.
I was in Bastion and trying to do something called a test of courage, but I couldn't find the bell, and even though we were synced up and we both had the quest, we couldn't find the bell. But instead, I went and did some pet battling, which still levels you, so that's fun. In Population 1, I dinged 59. It's so funny because my two tunes are now 58 in World of Warcraft. I'm 59 in Population 1, and I'm 59 in the real world. So there's a lot of excitement. There's a play test, and we had to sign an NDA, so I can't talk about it. But I was very fortunate because a lot of people have to uninstall and reinstall and stuff, but I have 2 accounts because I have to multi-box. Yeah, I have to do everything double. And so I am doing the play test on my Steam account and doing everything else and playing on my Oculus account. My Steam account is 28. My Oculus is the 59 account. It was really interesting this week because I play with some kids, and it's really an interesting dynamic because there are 2 types of kids out there. There's the one that yells the N-word and screams and tells you everything they're picking up and is very annoying. And then there's the ones that are so good and so polite and so wonderful. And I want to just do a shout out to the parents of those really good kids because you've done something right and I really appreciate it. And sometimes it makes me, why are they so good? This is one kid I play with who's Dutch, and he is phenomenal. And he is, sometimes it's interesting when you're playing Population 1 because the dynamic is different from playing World of Warcraft because you're going right in, you're pushing, And I don't like to push. I like to drop down, get armed up, and then go after whoever I'm battling. Go after the other teammates. But, so I guess you could say Population 1 is like PvP constantly. It's like PvP on what is that term where you're fighting everybody?
Battleground?
No. The server where you're...
PvP server.
PvP server. Yeah. Okay, I said it right. Okay, good. So it's like being on a PvP server without the quest. So, and it's interesting because there's two types of players. The ones that just like to jump down, start fighting. And then you also have the option of podding out, because when you start out, you can either pod or jump down. And all the starting space is always in a different part of the map. And if you pod out, you have the opportunity to gear up. But, yeah. Anyways, it's exciting and fun. And I'm level 59 in that. And I'm leveling up in Pokemon, because, I multiplay everything. And it's funny because last week, I work at the train station in Providence. And 2 weeks ago, a Pokestop opened up on the plaza in front of the station. So there's already 2 Pokestops at the station. There's one in the clock tower and one that's the main station Pokestop. I've always been frustrated because before there was not a gym, but now the clock tower is a gym. And now this one in the plaza in front of the station opened up. And then yesterday, it's gone. I don't know what that means. I mean, I've seen Pokestops go away before. There was a stone plaque in the middle of Canal Street, down the street from where I work, on my way to work, and there was a Pokestop there commemorating there was a battle in the 1800s with freed slaves and people in Providence. And it was a phenomenal situation. And this plaque honored them. And then they were doing construction and they took the plaque away, and then the Pokestop went away. Which makes sense. So I don't know what happened. I know that once you get to be level 44, you can suggest Pokestops. So my goal before I retire is to get my tune. She's now level 36, but I'm hoping to get her to 44, so that by the time I retire, I can suggest that the quad in front of my house, in front of my apartment building, become a Pokestop, so I don't have to leave my house to play Pokemon. It's not a unreasonable requirement. In New York, when I go through New York, there are literally hundreds and hundreds of Pokestops. You know what I mean, Grand Nagus. I mean, in your town, there's not as many, right?
When we started, with regards to my town, when the game launched, and I first started, my town had not even a handful of Pokestops. And now I even have what you want. I have one just across the street. At the hairdressers.
At the hairdresser.
Yep.
That is so wonderful. Yep, you reached the holy grail of Pokemon playing. I mean, I can't complain because there are 4 Pokestops, which in a block radius, but I have to go out. So when I walk Maija, that's part of the walking experience. We go out and I play Pokemon. And it was interesting. I don't know if you saw this, but a few weeks ago, they reduced the size. Well, during the pandemic, they increased the radius of the poke spot so that you could click on it from a larger distance, and this was supposed to be for social distancing, if that makes sense.
So, yeah.
Yeah. And then a couple of weeks ago, they decreased the size, and the Pokemon community went up in arms.
But it's just back to normal.
Yes. Right, it was just back to normal, but they're like, no, it's too soon. It's too soon. We still need to social distance, and I was on the side of let's decrease it because I don't want to. It has nothing to do with social distancing. It's just not having to go as far. Like I can do it from the parking lot rather than going all the way to where the stop is. So, but anyways, they extended the distance again, so that was good. And what else am I playing? I guess that's it. I'm playing Final Fantasy IV. I'm loving it. I actually had to get a new camera for my Population 1, and it's beautiful. So that was nice. I was trying to use it tonight on the stream, but this video is fine. It's so funny having all the technical stuff. And I don't know if I should even mention this, but I'm starting a new venture. I'm going to do a Perry Mason podcast of the old series. And it's so funny because I was telling one of my coworkers that I'm doing a Perry Mason podcast, and she says, "Who's Perry Mason?" And I was like,
Somebody.
I mean, granted, this is a series from 1957.
How old is that coworker?
I think she's in her mid-30s. So I would think she still should have heard of it, but
you might be able to get away with not knowing Perry Mason if you're in your mid-30s.
Right, yeah.
Just barely.
Just barely. And that's been my week. I'm loving Population 1. I'm loving... Did I mention that I'm going to have to talk to somebody, and I feel kind of silly. But I am having a hard time figuring out where April and Aprillian can go right now so that they can play together. And right now what they're doing is pet battling I think it's Bastion, that whole area. But I'll figure it out. And I'm having fun.
What you can do is if you open your quest log,
right?
You should on each tune you should see in the top right side you should see your main story quest progression, chapter X of whatever.
Right.
And the one that's furthest along should just wait, and you should, with the one that's trailing, you should catch up.
Yes.
With that one.
Okay.
And then once you're on the same quest of the main quest storyline, you can just continue together and do those quests
together and keep going.
That's how you go about it.
But I'm just glad that they're both 58 now, and they're playing together. And that's been my week.
I find it very, very easy to be true. Am allerschönsten war es doch zu Haus, und ob sonst mich einst in die Welt hinaus, und in der Ferne suchte ich mein Glück, wer kennt den Weg zurück.
Granegas, how was your week in WoW? I mean, your week in gaming. I'm sorry. Maybe I should start over again. Should I start over?
No.
Okay. First of all, are you still playing Pokemon?
I am from time to time when I'm walking.
Because you haven't sent me a gift in like forever. I'm just saying. Anyways.
I'll get right to it once I'm done here.
Okay. and if you're listening, Big...
Sorry, PSA.
If you're listening, Big G, you haven't sent me one either. So just not to impose on yours, but I just want to say Duvasay
just need to be called out. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, Duvasay is wonderful. She sends me one every week, so shout out to Duvasay. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Continue.
So in real life, let's start with real life first. I've had an interesting week because I have had to my ISP contract runs until October next year with a 1 year contract renewal, automatic renewal with a 2-month period where I can cancellation period. And
so you're talking about your internet provider, right?
Internet service provider, exactly.
Okay, all right, gotcha.
And I was thinking over the course of the summer, I was thinking I should change to this new program, this new company, because they provide more and I have to pay less, so sure. But I had to make some changes in my apartment, which aren't as easy. So
you have to get wiring or something.
Yeah,
that's what I had to do for Vios. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so I had to, and now I've looked up the details of the terms for the new company, and they offer a replacement service where I can, with the remaining 10 and a half months now, currently, I can pay my current contract, my current ISP.
Okay.
But get service from the new one.
Oh.
And once my contract is up, they'll cancel it for me, and then I'll start paying them and being a proper customer with them. So I thought, yeah, that's a good idea. And they even offered to send a technician out to do all the technical do all the technical stuff like wiring and setting up the service point and whatnot.
Oh, nice.
In my apartment. I thought, yeah, sure. And I get the router for free, and I get the first 6 months for free. So that's nice. So I thought, yeah, sure, why not? So now I get my new internet service provider's service sometime in the next month or whatnot, probably, after the service technician has been here and has checked what needs to be changed and what needs to be rewired and whatnot. So quite happy with that. So I'm upgrading from 175 megabits down and 40 up to 1 gigabit down and 50 megabits up. So
nice.
That's quite a change, at least with the download speed. It's not or it is still. Oh, it's still not. What is it called? Glass fiber optics.
Right.
But because that would mean that I would get as fast upload as I get download speed.
Right.
So this tech I'm getting is I'm changing from a standard DSL telephone connection to a TV cable connection, which is a different cable and has higher download speed capacity than the DSL. So there is another way technically possible where I get internet from my power company, like through the power
line? Yeah.
The power line. But that's insanely expensive here because it's not generally used.
But I bet you it's high speed, though.
I don't know. I don't even know. I just know it exists. Down in Austria, that's quite common down there. And again, if the product isn't commonly used, we all know that it's more expensive than if it is. If it is, so yeah. So, and then the other thing I was thinking about for a while is upgrading my PC. So, and I finally got to.
Oh yeah, you were talking about that last night, talking to last week about the people.
Yeah. Yeah, so I said I wanted to order it, but now I have ordered it.
Oh, congrats.
I have ordered the parts now, and they said that it's going to take no more than a week. So I was quite happy with that.
So you'll be it takes no more than a week for the parts to come, or you'll be without your computer for a week?
For the parts to come in.
Okay.
So I went down into my basement, got my old tower out, my old case, computer case, and stripped that clear of everything except the optical drive,
right?
And one old. I think I left the one hard drive in.
Right.
So the biggest one, because that needs to stay in anyway.
Right. Anyways, right.
So, and then I'm going to pull out two of my RAM sticks from the current PC that's working now, that's running now, so they can put that in and check it all, because they say we need the RAM sticks. We don't give you our own to check that. We just don't do that. I said, okay, I have 4, so you can have the 2. Not a problem. It's just that for the week or whatnot that it takes for them to build it, I only have I have half the RAM, but that's okay as long as the computer I have here at home is working. So yeah, that means I'm, as I said last week, upgrading from an Intel 7 generation i7 to a Ryzen 9 5900, which is again quite an upgrade.
Right.
Quite an upgrade, yeah. So quite happy with both those decisions. I was thinking about getting a new case, but I couldn't get a case. But I think I talked about that last week too, I wanted to keep the Blu-ray player, but there is no reasonable case that can hold it. Either it's not what I want, or it's insanely expensive. I'm not going to pay 300 euros for a new case. That's just not going to happen. So, yeah. In-game, Final Fantasy XIV, I finished leveling my crafting jobs, all of them to at least 41.
Oh, nice. Congrats.
So all 8 of them are at least 41. The Weaver is 47, the Alchemist is 42, and the Colonarian is 52. And all the others, the Carpenter, Blacksmith, Armorer, Goldsmith, and Leather Worker, they're all 41. So that means that I'm done with that stage. Now the next level is level 60, but I'm going to work on the gathering jobs first, get them to 60 at least. The botanist is 60 already. Need the miner. The mining job needs to get from 51 to 60, and the fisher from 33 to 60. So
there's fishing.
And then excuse me?
Did you say fisher? There's fishing?
Fishing, yeah.
Okay. I did not know.
Yep. You can fish. And that's and then once those 2 jobs are at 60, I'm going to go back to the main story quest and get that to finished, so I'm ready for Endwalker launch on December the 7th, or maybe if I'm lucky, I'll get done with it for the December 3rd pre-release, pre-launch release, whatever it's called, that you get access to if you pre-order the expansion. I wanted to quickly go over the final thing I wanted to mention is I wanted to go over the crafting the Ishkarian Way. Ishgard is the capital for the first expansion for Heavensward. And once you get done with the expansion, I think you can unlock it a little earlier. But I think you're on the safe side if you finish the entire Heavensward expansion main story quest. And once you're done with that, you can go down to the marketplace in Ishgard, and there is a quest near that, a blue unlock quest, and that gives you access to. Once you finish, it's quite a lengthy quest. Took me, because I read everything. Took me the better part of an afternoon to finish the entire quest chain. You unlock the firmament and the diadem. The firmament is a area where you can go and it's kind of a, how do I describe it? It's like a fair, kind of. It's not quite Dark Moon fair, but it's a fair type thing.
Okay.
Where you can go and do feats, special feats that happen there, and then you can collect items as rewards for those feats of fate, sorry, and then you can turn those in, and then you can buy stuff, or you can use it for currency to buy other things like pets, mounts, stuff like that, or furnishings for your house and apartment, all that good stuff. So that is something that you can do. Another way you can get those credits, those just currency, is by crafting, and that's what I've done.
Oh,
because it's a kind of special way of crafting. It's easier, way easier to craft that way. The only thing is you need to remember to go to your profession, to your job's guild every 5 levels to do your profession, your job's quest, and then come back. I mean, you can do it every 10 levels or whatnot. It's not that important, but don't forget to keep your job quest chain caught up,
right,
every so often. So how you do it is you go to the diadem, which is an area. It's like a big area where you can fly if you can fly, and you can run around if you can fly. And if you can't fly from one, it's like an area with flying, floating rocks, so to speak, on which you walk. Mm-hmm. Much like if you think about if you think of Nagrand.
Yes.
yeah, exactly. And then you imagine all of those flying rocks up there, flying pieces of land. If you can, much bigger, but if you're only walking on them, if there is no main ground down below.
Right.
And there are swirly things that take you from one to the other if you can't fly. So there's no way that you are hindered in getting from one to the other if you can't fly. So that's good too. And you can mine and fish and do botany there. It's only for gathering. That entire zone with 6, 7 of those floaty pieces, chunks of land. You can only enter the diadem when you are spec'd to a gathering profession, gathering job. If you're a battle job or a crafting job, if that's active, you can't go in. And you can't change into one of them either. You can only change between miner, botanist, and fisher while there. Then there are enemies, because originally the enemies that are there were attackable or were hostile. Now they are still attackable, but you shouldn't, because again, as a gatherer, you don't have offensive capabilities, so don't do that. Unless, and this is interesting, there are 5 bars in the top left corner that fill up as you gather. And once one of those bars is full, you can use a kind of bazooka to shoot and kill one of those enemy mobs, and they drop materials depending upon what they are. If they're plant-based stuff, they drop botany materials. If they are rock-based stuff, they drop mining materials. If they are elemental, they drop crystals that you need for crafting, and so forth. Then there are some that are like a mix. They're like frost elemental or frost giants. They drop a mix of whatnot. So it's interesting that they have that mechanic too. And then once you're done with your collecting, I think there's a 150-minute limit on how long you can be in there. So it's quite a long while, or you can just choose to leave like any other instance. You just click on the leave instance and you get teleported out. And then you go to a vendor that's next to the guy that sent you in there, and you turn the mats that you gathered into usable usable mats in the so they're called approved. He's like I don't know what is he called? Is that him? We're doing it live, guys.
We're doing it live, folks. We're
doing it live. Let me just quickly run over to check what he is called.
Google that. If you're too young to remember, just Google "we're doing it live," folks.
Yeah. He is a resource inspector. So he inspects what you collected, and then he validates he approves of the mats that you have. He turns them from gathered stuff into approved gathered stuff. And then you can use it for special, the mats you can use for special recipes that are only accessible once you unlocked that place, the firmament. When you open your crafting log and then you click on the level base, the special recipe tab, the little back button on the recipe level switch button, you'll see Then you can choose to open the Ishgard Restoration tab, and then you have Restoration 1 through 4. And we are apparently in the 4th generation, tier, whatever now, because everything you get now is 4th. Is grade 4. Sky Builders, something. And then you can craft that stuff with 1 or 2 of those special Sky Builder items or ingredients, and 1 normal regular item that you need to collect from the open world. So if you are a carpenter, you have to go and collect logs.
Well, that makes sense.
Like wood logs.
Yes.
If you are a blacksmith, you need to collect ore, iron ore in this case, for the base stuff, for the level 20 stuff, and so forth. Or wool, or some plant, depending upon what you do. If it's cooking, then the Ishkarian Restoration calls for maple syrup, for instance, or sunset wheat flour that you go and collect in the open world, or go to a vendor in a major city and buy. And then you craft those items, and the higher the quality of the item is that you craft, the better you are at crafting, the more of those tokens you can get. So let's say it's a minimum. There's the quality that you craft at base level 20, let's say, is level 50 that you need to be eligible to turn it in to get experience. Because this is all about getting bonus experience. You get, regardless of the quality that you craft, you get your initial crafting experience. But it's this Ishkarian Restoration is all about crafting as valuable an item as possible and turning that into an NPC. So let me tell you how valuable a high value item is. The collectability, that's the terminology for the quality. When that's 50, then you're eligible to get the base reward. The reward is 60,480. And you get 3 reward tickets. And it's 50 to 79 collectability. Once you get from 80, if you get from 80 to 104 collectability with your crafted item, you don't get 60,480 anymore. You get 107,430 and 4 tickets. And if you're 105 or higher, you go from 107,430 to 153,534 and 5 tickets. So there's 90,000 difference between the first and the highest level. And that's only at level 20. Your character level 20. If you are higher than that, at level 40, you get between, you get between 233,729 as the lowest. The highest possible is 928,236. So you can see that it's really important that you craft the high quality stuff. And that means you need to have good gear with high crafting values. And you need to have the right rotation. Because if you've ever done crafting in Final Fantasy XIV, you know that it's I don't know what to call it. It's a science in of its own to do crafting, high quality crafting in the game. So you can basically increase the quality. You have a certain amount of crafting points, and each action, or most actions, cost crafting points. And the more complicated a craft is, the more actions it takes, the more points it costs, obviously. And then you have a proc chance that's called Tricks of the Trade, which restores a certain amount of crafting points.
Okay.
But again, it's a proc. And if you're in your rotation of craft, you're not always able to use that ability to restore your crafting points, because there are other issues. Like for instance, there is if you craft something, you have what is it called? Crafting. Let me just see. It's called durability. Which means that each action costs durability as well as crafting points. So you need to balance that as well. And one ability is called Waste Not, which reduces loss of durability by 50% for the next 4 steps. So if you have 40 durability, it's good to use the Waste Not right away so you can get more steps in, more actions in. But if you have to use the Tricks of the Trade to restore your crafting points, you lose an action, meaning 1 count of Waste Not. So it's you're 1 step closer to losing 5 points, because each regular action costs 10 durability. So it's really, really complicated, but it's very nice once you get the hang of it. And the good thing is, the very good thing is that there are macros, not like in WoW, where you have to hit a key every time you want to work a macro step. No, with Final Fantasy XIV, it's the old way that WoW has allowed you earlier in its early life, where you could I just hit my crafting macro and it crafts the entire item like from start to end. So, and I only hit the thing once, which is really nice. So if the only thing you need to take into account is, do you have enough crafting points? Do you have enough crafting stats? And that's it. And then you hit your crafting macro once you open the crafting window. It's very easy, very satisfying that once you get to that level, at least I find that it is. So,
I bet. Yeah.
And I've been leveling. And the good thing is, all crafting, even though it's a different profession, all crafting professions can use the same gear. So if you are at one point, say you reach level 20,
right,
and your blacksmith is capable of leveling from that point on forward, any other profession you have, any other job you have that reaches level 20 is able to do so as well, provided you have the mats, of course.
Right.
So that's really, really nice that you don't have to get different. The only thing you need to get, they use the same gear, but obviously the same tools they can't use, because like if you have a saw for a carpenter, you can't use it. The culinarian needs a skillet to cook, obviously. So you can't do that. They have to get their main, their primary and secondary tool, but the gear is all the same. So I have to reiterate that there's a difference between the gear and then the
tools.
The tools, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So
that's an interesting dynamic, yeah.
And those you get automatically, and that's why I said go back and keep up with your guild quests for your job, because that's the way to upgrade your tools, is by doing the job quests. Those provide you with respective tools that you need.
Right.
If you do all 8 quests, you'll eventually get double and triple the clothes, the gear. You can choose, if you have three different choices of gear as additional rewards, as optional rewards. You can, with one tune, you can choose the pants. With the other one, you can choose the headpiece. With the third, you can choose the robe or whatnot. But from the fourth on forward, you can just choose the guild. Because you always, regardless of what job you choose to level, you always get the proper tool upgrade when that's available. Always.
That's convenient.
There might be cases when you might be eligible to use a tool 1 or 2 levels ahead of being able to obtain it from the quest. Like, say it's a 45 quest that you go, and your tool that you get there is already obtainable at level 42 or 43. So theoretically, you could go to the vendor and buy it there 2 or 3 levels ahead of time. But if you don't have to, why bother? Why spend the 4,000 or 5,000 gil? That's not necessarily. Yeah, you don't need to do that if you don't absolutely have to, because you need the stats. But with this method, with this Ishkarian restoration, you don't need that. And that's a good thing. Ishkarian restoration is not nearly as gear dependent as the normal questing. So, the normal crafting, sorry. So, there's that. So yeah, if you want me to talk more about stuff from Final Fantasy XIV with regards to that,
yeah, let us know. Send us an email.
Let us know.
Yeah.
Send us an email. You can go to the Discord, write a Discord message as well if you want to. There's a link to the Discord in the show notes.
Right. Or
we don't use it much, but
tweet us
from time to time I look in it to see if there is, I check if there is if there are new messages in there. So that's a way to contact us. So yeah. And that's been my week.
Awesome. All right.
Hello, everybody. Kyle here. Mash that thing. Yep, that's dead. Yay, whoop, and then just keep going. Not a boring cake in the walk anymore. Awesome, amazing. Talk to you again next week. Take care. Bye.
And Kyle writes, hello, everyone. The battle against the life raid boss continues. I had an odd thought the other day. If you wipe against the real life raid boss, does that mean you died in real life? I suppose maybe not always. Maybe not always. Maybe if you fail a real life raid, you just get into one of those special cutscenes where the raid boss shows mercy and tells you to get out and don't come back until you're stronger or something. Wow, that's an interesting concept.
Or it's like in Pokemon where you just get knocked out.
Right. You just have to get some heals.
Placed.
Yes. Anyway.
And all your Pokemons need healing.
Yes, all your Pokemons need to revive.
Yeah.
You have to just make sure you have the healing potions and the revive. And I'm always emptying out my bags from... I never keep any red balls because I never capture anybody, and they're always filling up my my storage. And yeah. And sometimes I get rid of... Well, the revive... If you have the special revive that heals you as well, you don't even need the potion. So, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways, today's Blast from the Past is from episode 445. Enjoy, Kyle. Thank you, Kyle.
Thanks, Kyle.
Yep. And let's listen to Kyle's Blast from the Past.
Today is Friday, October 23rd, 2015, and this is episode 444 entitled Pumpkins Galore. I'm Aprillian, your host, and with me are some people. Anyways, good morning, Lita. How are you?
I am great. I am putting out the fires in Razor Hill.
And on what server? So I can go and get...
I'm on Earthen Ring.
Ooh, I'm heading there right now.
And we failed.
Oh, you failed? Oh,
yeah, we failed.
I hate that. That's such a frustrating feeling. Rishna, how are you?
I'm okay.
Have you put out any fires?
I have not.
Control in WoW.
In WoW, yeah. I started a few fires outside of WoW.
Yeah. And
I think we all did.
Fires, Rogue Slayer is somewhere in a yurt, probably with a fire.
She's in a yurt.
Yeah. Hopefully with a fire. Wouldn't she need a fire?
Outside the yurt.
Outside the yurt, not in the yurt.
Not in.
You wouldn't want to burn your yurt.
Don't want to burn it.
So sad. And Tidra, how are you this week?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm glad you're. And thanks for asking. Nobody ever asked me how are you. Who cares?
Now, I haven't been able to do any Hallows Eve this year. There's new stuff, I hear?
There's new stuff, yes. Do you want me to talk about that now?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Well, I have put the link in the show notes for Hallows End. So that's in section 4 in mine. And there's a whole heap of, so there's a couple new toys, some pets, some other collecting things that you can get. So it depends. They've added some dailies in from the garrison as well. So if you've got your garrison, there's a little vendor who is now in your garrison, I think, from level 3.
Yeah, it has to be a level 3. Yeah.
Yeah. And then she has stuff that you can get with spooky supplies. And the spooky supplies is what you do the dailies for. So there's 4 dailies that send you over to Shadow Moon Valley, and you've got to kill some stuff. And when you come back, you hand those in to get the spooky supplies, and then you can buy some stuff with the spooky supplies. And she also sells some stuff that's going to be tied into Winter's Veil. So it's very exciting. So you can jazz up your garrison if you want with various things. And I've got some shown up. So
it's bound on account. It's bound on account.
The spooky supplies are account bound. Yeah, they're account. So you can get them. I was getting them on my priest when I did a set of dailies, and I sent them across to my warlock. So it's like, excellent. I got 5 more. So that was really good. There was one quest that I did over where the pirates were, and I had to go into this cave. And you know what? It really does help to read the quest and not assume the quest.
Right.
It's a funny thing. So there was these elite ogres, and I'm like, and I'm looking at them going, okay, I'm looking at the health, and I'm thinking, yeah, all right, I think I can do this. All right, I'll give it a go. And instead of reading the quest, which would have, when I read the quest, it's like, throw the gold to the ogre and he will become a friend. No, leader goes, okay, come on, Charlie, let's kill him.
Oh, no.
So Charlie died like twice. I pulled out I'm throwing down the trap, I'm throwing down the burning trap, I'm concussing, I'm backing up, I'm getting Charlie back up. I'm like, get back in there, stop dying. And I killed it. And I'm like, really? I've got to kill all of these into the cave to go and see this dude? This is ridiculous. And then I read the quest. It's like, no, click on this thing and throw the gold to the ogre. And then they turn green. I was like, okay, right. So if you ever get down to that quest in Thousand Needles, there's gold that you throw the ogres and they become a nice, friendly elite that you don't have to kill. So yeah, that was probably dumb move number 1 this week for me, but I didn't die. I did though have to hit every, bandages and Charlie did die a couple of times. Poor Charlie. So anyway, we got through it. Lesson learned. One of the things that did come out, everyone kind of went a little bit crazy over it, was a little Murloc pet called Turkey, and not turkey as in gobble gobble, turkey as in Terky. I can quickly tell you that there's a little cave in Boran Tundra off the coast, and the coordinates are 5688 if you've got coordinates on your map. And it's a tiny little opening underneath where basically all the, I think there's near where the Naga are out to sea on some of the concrete things that you get to fight when you were leveling. Basically, all you do is you click on it, and provided that 50 million people aren't there trying to click on it at the same time, then you get a little white Murloc egg, and you're only allowed to have one, and it turns into turkey. So this is when I went across. So as you can see, this is
to do with a turkey at all.
No, it's a little Murloc. He's a cute little Murloc. I'll show you. Have a look. See that first screenshot? That's everyone in the cave trying to click on the egg. The egg spawns. It seems to have a pretty good spawn time. But yeah, you've kind of got one of those things where if someone's already clicked on it, you've got to wait, and yeah, it's a bit of pain. It's like, why can't you just make it? Yeah, it was. And that's not the worst it was. Apparently, I saw some screenshots on Twitter, and there was like, another 100+ more people in those caves all over the place. So I was very lucky that I got mine fairly with, maybe about 10 clicks, and I must have just jagged it before someone else did. So I was like, oh, sweet. And then there's my screenshot. So I'm back over on Timeless Isle. Voidy and I are chilling, and it's a little white Murloc, tiny little white Murloc called Turkey. And if you're not paying attention, he does the dance. So he puts the top hat on, and he does the little Murloc dance and sings. And it's really cute.
Hello, my baby. Hello, my darling.
Yeah, it's so cute. So when I came back to my garrison after we'd done some Headless Horseman runs, and I didn't even realize, but there's this giant pumpkin in my garrison. I thought there was this little tiny ones, but there's a giant one. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm in so much heaven. So yeah, so that's what that screenshot is, because I'm like, I have my own giant pumpkin, which is, it's very, very cool. But not only that, then I have my own Wickerman.
No way.
Yeah, I've got my own Wickerman. So from buying all, the little things that the vendor sells, I'm obviously putting this stuff into my garrison. And the Wickerman had the little bonfire that I could click on, and then it burst into flames.
Really?
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, so that was really, really cool. And then I got my own panda witch who gives me a brew. So I add her. So this is a screenshot. She's a panda dressed up in a witch's outfit. She has brew. She has kegs of brew everywhere, and she's like, "Here, come click on this." So I click on that, and she gives me a mysterious brew, and I go, "Thank you very much." And it says it's soulbound. It's unique. It has 5 charges. Magical, when I use it, magical suds apply an elemental costume to the targeted party member. And I'm like, ooh, that sounds exciting. So I'm going to throw one and see. And I turned into Lita Elemental. So I turned into my own little elemental Lita. And there's the screenshot. So, yeah, that was like, oh my gosh, all the cuteness stuff that Blizzard could give me. Yep, tick, 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 tick. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm in heaven.
So, Vrishna and Aprillian, what have you been doing this week?
Wow.
I get top billing this week. How inapropos.
What?
She said Vrishna and Aprillian.
Right. Yeah. You got it backwards. We got to start all over again.
Oh, I was trying to give him a turn to be
No, I appreciated it.
first.
It was cute. It was, she can't handle it, but that's reason number 2.
She was being condescending.
17.
I hope you know that.
She was not. She was being nice.
And this is from Duvasay. Yay. And she says, Gnome Run Sat. Hail core crew. Lately, I have found myself procrastinating about finishing up Tanan Jungle. So I have been leveling all my 90s up to max level. 13 down and 5 to go. Oh my gosh. Wow, Duvasay. That's amazing. Mm-hmm. I have been keeping up with some of the holiday events enough to get the new pets and toys that have become available. I finally got a Nightshade Sproutling to drop for me from the Garrison Herb Garden. Still working on the Sack of Spiders toy. I like to encourage anyone who is free to join the Gnome Run for Cancer Awareness on Saturday the 24th on the Scarlet Crusade server. I have attached a picture of my little pink-haired rogue, Orchidae, that I will take on the run. Oh, look how cute she is. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. November 2nd will mark the 2nd anniversary. Sorry. Of my mother's death from cancer. I'm so sorry, Duvasay. Well, okay, sorry. Totally wasn't expecting that. My 2 older sisters are both breast cancer survivors. So this is a cause that is very close to my life. Please come and show your support. The details of the run are posted in last show's notes. For the gnomes, just this once, Duvasay. Good luck, Duvasay. I'm afraid I'm going to be busy. But I would love to be there. I'll be there in spirit for certain. So sorry about your mom.
And thank you, Duvasay. Anybody that can join, please do. It looks like it's a worthy cause and a fun gnome run. I mean, they're gnomes, or as you call them, gnomes.
I call them gnomes.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
My mother, also, passed from cancer when I was very young, so it's an excellent cause.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, that was awesome on so many levels. Thank you, Kyle. I totally enjoyed that. I do remember 137 being something that was precious to Vrishna. And yeah, I think I mentioned this last week, but next month, on December 6th, will be the 5-year since he's gone. And I want to do something special. I don't know what. Maybe just a highlight. Ooh, maybe you could do that, Kyle. a Vrishna highlight. Because he loved this game and he was wonderful to have as a co-host. And I love the fact that Tiber was picking on him. That was great. Tiber was great. Everything was wonderful. And it's funny because while the segment was going, I was in a fate called, you call that a toad in Final Fantasy. So, that was kind of, interesting because we were talking about you call that a knife. All right. Do we have any updates? Did we lose contact?
I went through all the different guilds, and I didn't see any new updates yet.
Okay, that's fine. It is what it is. All right. So we'll see you next week. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, chat room. Thanks, Temple, I think, because I just downloaded another game.
Oh, wow.
Ingress. So it should be interesting. This is Aprillian for the Horde.
This is Constructs for Hearthstone.
And this is Big Grand Negus, Rule of Acquisition, number 19. Satisfaction is not guaranteed. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye, chat room.
Bye, chat room.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank
you. Thanks, Temple.
Thank you very much.